Input-output operations are done using a library function that is CIN and COUT. Please understand how exactly this input operator is working. This is what I will call it as the input operator. I am not using the double quotes here. I am not using the double quotes here. This variable value is stream. But when it comes to the formatting the output, I have two things. Let's imagine 3.1413, whatever the pi value that you have given. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the first session of a very important chapter, that is input and output operators. It's a very small chapter for all of you. So guys, quickly I will finish off, and it's very interesting. So let's start. What is that I will discuss in this chapter? I'll speak about this chapter. So that is what I will call it as an introduction, and then I have input operator and output operator, how exactly the input and output operator is working. Along with that, cascading of input and output operators. What is that cascading? One after the other, one by one, is what I will call it as a cascading. Okay, so I will be discussing about that in detail, don't worry as of now. And then formatted output. If I want to format the output, so how I will be able to do it is what I will be discussing in this. So guys, let me start with the first one, that is introduction. So what is the first point that I have? Input-output operations are done using a library function that is CIN and COUT. Please understand, this is very important. Write this in your notes. So if I want to perform any input, if I want to enter the input, or if I want to display any output, I will be able to perform with the help of a library functions which is already predefined. So that is CIN and COUT. CIN and COUT. So that is what you have to remember. This CIN and COUT in the previous class I have already discussed. So I have something called header files. So how many header files we have discussed? We have discussed hash include. We have discussed hash include, iostream.h and conio.h. Do you remember conio.h? So guys, we have discussed this. So please recollect that. CIN and COUT are the objects that I have stored in the class called iostream. Please understand that. That is the first point that you should remember. So fine, what is the next one that I have? Please understand, using the standard input-output library. This is the standard input-output library, right? Is it? So guys, this is the functions. This is functions. I have input output stream. This is library. So using this standard input output library, we have able to interact with the user. Why should I use this CIN and COUT functions? So with the help of this, I will be able to interact with the user. What is the meaning of this points? Can you explain that? If I want to assign the value for age, let's imagine I want to calculate all your age, right? So I will ask all of you to enter your age. How do you know that you have to enter the age? So for that, I have to ask you, enter your age. The name should be displayed. That is what I will call as the output. How do I do it? With the help of COUT. I will give COUT, enter your age. I will type COUT, enter your age. COUT in the sense, display. So that's what you have to understand. I will discuss that in detail. As of now, you just have to understand that. So I have displayed enter your age. So by seeing that, you will understand you have to enter the age. So you will enter the age. Then how do I take it? So with the help of CIN, I'll be able to take the value whatever you are entering. How exactly this is happening? This interaction is happening with the help of this library, standard library function, CIN and COUT. That's what you have to understand. Fine. What is the next one that I have? A stream is an object. Please understand, stream is an object where a program can either insert or extract the character from it. Either it can insert or extract the character from it. Stream is an object whether I can insert or I can take out the character from it. That is what you have to understand. What is the next one? Standard C++ library includes the header file IOStream, where the standard input output streams objects are declared. It's a very simple point. So the cin and cout are stored in the standard library, that is IOStream. That is what you have to remember. So in this entire state, sir, what is the point that I have to remember? In and an input codec, sir. Only one thing that you have to remember. You have something called cin and cout. You have something called cin and cout. Input and output can be performed with the help of cin and cout. That is what you have to remember. Where I have stored this? I have stored this in a IOStream, iostream.h. iostream.h header file hash include iostream.h ali I have stored this. So if I want to display, I will be using cout. If I want to read the value, I will be using cin. That is what you have to remember. That is what you have to remember. So if I want to have the interaction between the user, so I will be using this. This is what the basic knowledge that you should have before I start my content, right? So what is the first one that I have? I will be discussing this in detail now, one by one. Please understand. So what is the first operator that I have? Input operator. What is the first operator that I have? Input operator. How exactly this input operator is working? This is what I will call it as the input operator. This is what I will call it as the input operator. So first point that you should remember. So fine. What is the first point? Standard input device is usually a keyboard. What is the meaning of it, sir? We did not understood. If I want to enter anything, so I have to enter it through the keyboard. If I want to enter anything, I have to enter it through the keyboard. That's why I will call the keyboard as a standard input unit. So that is the first point that you should remember, which all of us know about it. Fine. There is nothing great in that, sir. Fine. So second point. Input in C++ is done using, please understand, stream extraction. Input in C++ is done using stream extraction, that is this symbol on the cin stream. Sir, what is the meaning of it? We did not understood anything. Sir, look at this example. Keyboard. I have the keyboard. I will enter something. So it will come to cin. It will come to cin. After that, I have the operator. This is what I will call it as a stream extractor. So from this operator, the value will goes to the variable. The value will goes to the variable. How exactly this flow is happening? First keyboard al enter martini. Adu cin gogutte. Cin in the stream extractor gogutte. Stream extractor in the variable al store agutte. So please observe here. So this is how I declare my variable. This is how I will declare my variable. What is the variable name? Age is the variable name. So what type of variable is this? Integer. This is what we have discussed in the previous class. Data type. Remember that. Yes. So you'll notice sir, cin anta nan type maadi. So ಎರಡು forward greater than symbol, right? Greater than symbol ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಾ ಇದನ್ನ? Yes. 2 greater than symbol ನಾನು ಹಾಕಿ ಅದ್ರ ಮುಂದೆ if I write age, so whatever the value that I am entering, that will be stored in this variable age. That will be stored in the variable age. That is what you have to understand. So if I enter 10, that 10 will be stored in this age. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಇಂದ cin ಬರುತ್ತೆ. cin ಇಂದ stream extractor object ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ age ಬರುತ್ತೆ. That's how the value will be stored in the variable. That is what you have to understand. So guys, so this next point says the same thing. The first statement declares a variable. So please here understand here. The first statement declares the variable. So the second statement, what we have, please understand, cin stands for console input. Cin stands for console input. So why do we have this cin? So cin in the sense console input, cout in the sense console output. So console in the sense display input, display output. Please understand. So console input, cin andre console input. So it can only process the input from the user. So user, why do we use cin? So only to read the input from the user we use the cin. ನಾನು ಏನಾದರೂ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯೂಸರಿಂದ ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಇದು ನೆನ್ಪು ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸಿ ಇನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿಂಬಲ್, ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿಂಬಲ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಿ ಇನ್ನಿಂದ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿಂಬಲ್ ಎರಡು ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಅದರಿಂದ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್? ವಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ದ ಟೈಪ್. We must always consider the type of the variable that we are using as a container. Please understand. So we must always consider the type of the variable that we are using as a container with the cin. So guys, cin extractor, what is the meaning of it? So what type of variable that you are using, that is very important. That is what you have to consider, and you have to enter that value. So in short, let us summarize this slide. So ಏನು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಈ ಸ್ಲೈಡಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ as ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್. This is what I will call as the input operator. So ಅದಾದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, so you should remember this diagram. What is that? First keyboard. So keyboard ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನೋ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಅದು ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸಿ ಇನ್ಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿ ಇನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಕನ್ಸೋಲ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್. ಕನ್ಸೋಲ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ reading the input we are using the cin. After that you have the stream extraction. You have the stream extraction. ಏನೇನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? The place where you store, the place where you store the value. So that's what you have to remember. So ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ, so ಹೆಂಗೆ, how do we use this? So first I will declare a variable of type int. Then after that cin to greater than symbol. That is what input operator. After that ಈ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಒಳಗಡೆ, ಈ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಏಜ್. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಏಜ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಹೌ ದ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್ and storing it in the age. That is what you have to understand with respect to the cin. So moving on to the next one, cout. Right? So guys, please observe the operator. This is a greater than symbol. Here we have less than symbol. Here we have less than symbol. Opposite to that. So this is what I will call as the output operator. Same thing here also. Please understand. Here instead of keyboard, in the previous one I had keyboard. Here I have monitor. Here I have monitor. Please understand. Monitor. I have monitor. So cout. An operator and then variable. Hang baruta. Can you guess what is the flow? Monitor in the cout ಬಂದು, cout in the operator ಬಂದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ variable ಬರುತ್ತಾ? No. Please understand. I have the value in the variable. A is equal to 10 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. So A is a variable. So this value will come to this operator. So from this operator it will come to cout to monitor. So this is how the operator cout is working. What is cout? So console output. So this is how the cout is working. So how exactly I will be able to write that? So guys, please understand this statement, whatever we have here. So cout, what is that I have written? Cout. So operator, output operator, within double quotes I have written, let us learn C++. At the end I have used a semicolon. If I use the statement, what will be my output? My output will be, let us learn C++. Guys, whatever I have within the double quotes, it will be printed as it is. ಏನೇ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೂ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ cout. You have to use cout. This is the common syntax that you have to remember. ಸೊ ಡಬಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಡಬಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನೀವು ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟರು, ಹಾಯ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಹಾಯ್ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಾಯ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಬಾಯ್ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗುಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗುಡ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್? ಸೊ ಡಬಲ್ ಕೋಟ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಅಟ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದ ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್. At the end of the statement you have to give the semicolon. So this will work when you have the string, but I want to print the value of this. How do I give? So please understand, I have to write something like this, cout. I'm not using the double quotes here. I'm not using the double quotes here. ಈ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ cout ಬರುತ್ತೆ, cout ಇಂದ ಮಾನಿಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾನಿಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ display. That's what you have to understand. So when do I use this? When I want to print the value what I have in the A. But if I want to print the value as it is, I will give double quotes. That's it. Simple. If I don't give double quotes, adrolagade ಏನು value irutte adu. Suppose if I give quotes as it is, it will print. That is what you have to remember when it comes to the output operator. When it comes to the output operator. So guys, you have the new line character which I will be discussing in the coming slide, right? So what is this formatted output manipulator? Before this, we need to understand one more thing. Let me utilize the space. Please understand, I am using Cout. I am using Cout. So Cout high. Cout high. So guys, Cout high. I want to print one more output statement. Should I use one more Cout statement? Should I use one more Cout statement? Please understand this. My question. If I print this, it will be printed in one line, high. Okay. So before that, let me explain this. So guys, the sentence in this instruction is enclosed between the double quotes because it is a constant, so which we have already discussed, right? In the C++, new line character can be specified as /n. New line character can be specified as /n. So new line character is an escape sequence. Let's retake this point. In the C++, new line character can be specified as /n, backward /n. If I want to go to the next line, I can specify it as /n. /n anta kodre, so automatically whatever the content that I have, it will go to the next line. That's what you have to understand. The new line character is an escape sequence. So I'll be discussing this escape sequence characters in the coming classes. So helps in formatting my output statements. Sir, nange output nange onde line al beda sir. If I give like this, so it will print completely in one single line. One single line al beda sir. Nange next line hogbeku andre /n. Nange wherever I want the content to be printed on the next line, so I will give /n. I will give /n. That's what you have to understand. So let's go to the next concept. So guys, so I have formatted output. Before I discuss this formatted output, I have one more important thing that I wanted to share with you. Something called cascading. Please understand that. Cin. I have Cin, right? So I have Cin. So arrow marks should be greater than. So please remember, you will get confused with this. Cin. I have A. So what will happen? I will be able to store value to this A. How many values I can enter? Only one value. Suppose if I want to enter two values. I want to enter two values. How many variables you want? How many variables you need? Two variables, right? A and B. Should I write one more Cin like this? Cin B. I can also write like this, but instead of writing like this, I can write it in one single statement, that is Cin A B. So this is what we call it as a cascading operator. Same thing I can do it for Cout. Instead of writing it in a different lines, I can write like this in one single statement. That is what I can call it as a cascading operator. Cascading in the sense, you are just adding at the end one after the other. That is what I will call it as a cascading. So that is what you have to remember. But when it comes to the formatting the output, I have two things. I need to format. It should look literally good. Heng madodu chanag format madbeku. How do I do it? So please understand, I have to use the manipulators. So henge, what is that? Mainly what is the manipulators that I have? I have end L and set W. I have something called end L. End L andre na next line ige hogbeku andre I will be using end L. For example, Cout high. If I write something like this, end L, sir, after this content, whatever I'm trying to print, it will print it in the next line. Automatically, the next line character will be added. That is the speciality of end L. So why do I need set W? Why do I need this set W? Please understand, this set W, if I want this set W, I will be able to format my output. I'll be able to give the width. Please understand, the set W manipulator sets the width of the field, assigned for the output. So if I have the output, so the width of the output fields are set with the help of this set W. So heng work agutte sir idu? I will show you this set W, how exactly it is working with the help of program in the coming sessions. So guys, as of now, you just have to remember, how do I format my output? Nanage henge format madkobeku output na? So if you are thinking, so you have something called manipulators. How many manipulators? 2 manipulators. The first one is end L. What is the first one? End L. Where do you give end L? So you will give the end L at the end of the statement, right? So what is the use of end L? So it will go to the next line. So it exactly works like a slash n. Slash n we have discussed in the previous slide, right? So slash n heng work agutte, same end L work agutte. But if you want to give the width of the output field, so you will use the set W. One object another object ಎಷ್ಟು space ಬೇಕು, one letter ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು letter ಎಷ್ಟು space ಬೇಕು. So all those things you can set with the help of set width. Set W in the sense set width. You can specify the width from one letter to another letter, from one word to another word. You can customize your output. You can format your output with the help of set W. So this is what you have to remember. So guys, let's take an example to calculate. Oh, this is a simple example. Let's understand by taking a small program how exactly the C in and C out is working. So guys, what is the program that we have? So let's recollect the structure of C++, okay, with this. So guys, can you tell me what is this actually? Can you tell me what is this? Suppose if I write something like this. If I write something like this, can you just tell me what is this? Very good. This is what I will call it as a comment. So can you tell me which section is this? Documentation section. Which section is this? Documentation section. So guys, I've already told you, kan muchkondi ಎರಡು line bardu bidbeku. If I say something called program, that is #include iostream.h, #include conio.h. Iదే nimdu first program which I am discussing. What is that? #include iostream.h, #include conio.h. This is what I will call it as a header files. Another name for this header files is preprocessor directories. Remember that. So fine. So this is a comment. Why do I call this as comment? Because this line will not be executed. That is for my reference. That's why I have commented, right? So fine. #include iostream.h. What is the meaning of iostream.h? Input output stream. All the C in and C out related functions are stored in this. That's why I'm calling this. That's why I'm using this. So I have console input output. The output display. How do I want? Suppose if I want to see the display, I should use this header file. So by closing your eyes, you will write these 2 lines. Please understand, I have void in the sense it does not return anything. What it does not return anything? This main function does not return anything. Remember, so if this is a function, so you will not write the semicolon. You will not write the semicolon. Sir, when should I not write the semicolon? For all the functions, should I not write the semicolon? No. When you are defining, when you are writing what exactly that function should do, so that time only you are not writing the semicolon. Otherwise, you will have to write the semicolon if you are calling it. There is a difference. Calling a function and defining a function is different. Whenever you are defining, you will not write the semicolon. Whenever you are calling, you will write the semicolon. Point number 1 that you need to understand. So guys, what is this? This is a main function. What is this? This is a main function that you need to understand. So why should I have main function? Because my program starts its execution from here. That is what you need to understand. Fine. After that, I have to write open flower bracket and close flower bracket. I have done that, right? So all my programs should be within that brackets. That is the second point that you should understand. So please understand, I'm using the float. What is this float? Remember, we have discussed this in the data type. So guys, What is this data type? Basket. What is this data type? Basket. So I'm creating 3 variables. Why are you using 3 variables? Because I need to store the values in this 3 variables. Why are you using float? Why are you using float? So remember, integer in the sense I'll be able to store integer value 10, 20, 30. Okay. Float in the sense 10.35. So 20.35. So this floating points I will be able to store. Why are you taking float only, sir? You can take integer. How do you come to know that you have to take float only? Understand the question. To find the area and circumference of a circle. To find the area and circumference of a circle. So guys, whenever I'm taking the parameter, I will not be knowing the exact value, whether will I get the integer or not. Even if I get the integer, so guys, this points will be discarded. So suppose if I don't take 3.5, if I take only 2, then I will not get the accurate result. My result will not be accurate. So that is the reason I'm taking float. Otherwise I could have taken int. Int tagobidbodagittu. So but my results will not be accurate. So please understand that. So guys, one more important point that you should know before you start writing this. What is that? Float REA circumference. Yen sir idu? Adhe tagobeku anta nimge hinge gottayitu? Lot of questions you will have since this is a first program that you guys are seeing, right? Very good. Guys, yen question nanu area du matte circumference du area of a circle calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. What is that I have to find? Retake. Find the area and circumference of a circle. Circle du area matte circumference calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so I should know what is the formula. I should know what is the formula. First adana ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು program ಬರೆಯೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ. So what is the question? To calculate the area and circumference of a circle. To calculate the area and circumference of a circle. So what is the formula? Please understand. So guys, pi r square. In formula area na calculate ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ pi r square. Area in formula pi r square. Circumference ಗೆ ಏನು? 2 pi r. This is for circumference. This is for area. This formula I know. This formula I know before I write this program. So guys, ಈಗ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಲಿಸನ್ ಹಿಯರ್. Do I know the value of pi? Do I know the value of pi? Yes, I know the value of pi. 3.1413. I know the value of pi. So I don't need to take it from the user. So do you know the value of r? R in the sense radius. Do you know the value of r? No, I have to take it from the user. Nangen gottu yen radius anta. So I have to take it from the user. So if I want to take it from the user, I have to store it somewhere. So where do I store it? I have to store it in a variable. So I want the variable for radius. That is what I am taking it as a RAT. That is what I am taking it as a RAT. So yen calculate ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? area calculate ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? yen formula area ಅದು? So pi r square is a formula area ಅದು. So value na calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ store ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? So that's why I am taking a area. So ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನು? circumference calculate ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? So ಇದು calculate ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ formula. So ಇದನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್. ಗಾಟ್ ಮೈ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್? ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಹೌ ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್ 3 ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ಸ್. 3 ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ? ಸೊ ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾರಂಥೆಸಿಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್, this you should treat it as function. This you should treat it as function. ಏನಿದು ಸರ್? CLR SCR. CLR SCR in the sense it is a function which is used to clear the previous output. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರೆದಿರ್ತೀನಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ವಾಟ್ ಡು? ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ದ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್. ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ, ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಐ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ all the previous output with the help of this function. Please observe, I am using semicolon. So this is not function definition. Main function is definition. Main function ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬರಿತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಡಿಫೈನ್ಡ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಾಲ್. ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್ ಕೊಡೋ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಸೆಮಿಕೋಲನ್ನು. Please understand that. Okay. Then after that, so C out, ಈಗ ತಾನೇ just we have studied. What is the use of C out? So whatever I give within the double quotes, it will be printed as it is. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ output screen ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Let's trace that. Let's trace the program. Okay. Output screen ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? So guys, what is that you have here? Enter the radius. So ನಿಮ್ಮ output screen ಅಲ್ಲಿ, so ಈ statement execute ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮ್ಮ output screen ಅಲ್ಲಿ enter the radius ಅಂತ print ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So fine. Enter the radius ಅಂತ print ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ next statement ಏನಿದೆ? C in RAD. C in ನಾವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಓದಿದ್ದೀವಿ. C in ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೀಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ. ಸೊ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ C in ಬರುತ್ತೆ. C in ಇಂದ ಈ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಇಂದ ಈ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, 4 ಅಂತ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ? RAD ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. RAD ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲು. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು? 3.1413 or 12. Let's imagine 3.1413, whatever the pi value that you have given. So what is the formula? Now again noting area. What is the formula for area? Come on everybody, what is the formula for area? So listen here, pi r square. Sir, nan pi anta hange bariyakagalla. So adike, so I am writing the value of this pi. So that is what I will call it as 3.1412 or 3.1413. You can take whatever you want. So then after that, what is that I have? Multiplication. I'm writing it as star. So RAD, that is radius. I have radius square. I cannot radius square here. Instead of that, 2 times I'm writing. So rad into rad. So this value, whatever I'm calculating, this will be stored in area. That is what you have to understand. So I have the calculated value in the area. Fine. What is the next line that I have? Circumference. Same thing. I'm calculating and I'm storing it in the variable circumference. Fine. Area ಒಳಗಡೆ area calculate ಮಾಡಿರೋ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ, circumference ಒಳಗಡೆ circumference calculate ಮಾಡಿರೋ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇದೆ. ನನಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದೆ? What is the ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. So I have to print this value. Area ಎಷ್ಟು, circumference ಎಷ್ಟು. How do I print? I have use C out. Using C out, I will be printing. Please look here. I have C out. So double quotes ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಹಂಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ? ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಹಂಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು. ಸೊ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ? ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಕೇಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ 10 something, some value, right? So the same way, after printing this, please observe I have end L. So ಈ ಲೈನ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ನಾನು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಎಲ್. ಸೊ ಫೈನ್, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ ಏನಿದೆ? ಸರ್ಕಂಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಸೊ ಏನು ಸರ್ ಈ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇನು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಕಂಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್ಕಮಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ 20 ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಎಲ್. ಸೊ ಏನೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ನೋಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಸಿ ಎಚ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸಿ ದಿಸ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಸಿ ಎಚ್. ದೆನ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು understand. A quick recap, guys. This is the header files. By closing your eyes, you have to write. Then after that, you have the main function. You have to calculate the area and circumference of a circle. So first formula barkombidi. Area the formula, circumference the formula. So formula barkondo. So you have to find out how many variables you need and what type of variables you need. Int beka, float beka, character beka, string beka. So you decide on that. Then here I have taken float. How many variables? 3 variables. Enik variables to store the value. So adadmele clear screen to clear the previous output. ಈಗ ಇದಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So I have printed. Next program ನಾನು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So ಅದನ್ನ erase ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. That's why I will use the CLR SCR. Then after that I will be taking the value from the user. This is how I will be taking the value from the user and I perform the operation. Then I print. So this is how I will be using the C in and C out. So guys, hope you have enjoyed the session. I have come to an end of this chapter. So this is what you have to remember with the C in and C out input output operator. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care of your health. Take care of your family. Love you all. Take care.